Hey Zion, it's Pastor Josh. It is Thursday afternoon. I know that I usually make these videos on Monday mornings, but the week has gotten away from me for a number of reasons, and I want to share a little bit about that. This past weekend, we had Will Harris join us from St. Augustine, Florida. Will flew in for a final round of interviews. I had the opportunity to meet a number of our volunteers, a number of our students. He led our Sunday school time as well as the encounter session on Sunday evening, and you can check out a little bit in the video that's included.
Heaven thundered and the world was born. Life begins and ends in the dust you form. Faith commanded and the mountains moved.
On my best day, I might be good. I might be okay, but perfect? Anybody that's perfect in here? Anybody? No? Okay, cool. So we're honest people. I like it. Perfection, that's a high bar, but I don't want to throw that out because Jesus said it. But what else did he say as he's talking about how that happened? Ben turned to Matthew 22, 36 through 40.
We're very grateful that Will was able to come in, that he was able to spend that weekend with us. And we're asking that you spend some time in prayer, praying for Will, for wisdom, guidance, discernment, that God would make it clear if this is the place that he's supposed to come and minister at. I'd also ask that you keep our leadership in prayer, that as we seek to discern God's will, that he would also make that abundantly clear to us if this is where Will is supposed to be and what he's supposed to be doing. So again, if you could just bathe that whole process in prayer, we would greatly appreciate it. Also on Sunday, we wrapped up our final chapter of the book of James. We looked at James chapter 5, and if you weren't with us for that study, it was entitled Under Pressure. We looked at the many pressures of life, some that are imposed upon us, some pressures that well up from the desires and the passions that, as James says, wage war within us. And we talked about how we as followers of Christ can successfully live for Christ as we encounter and confront those pressures. So if you've missed the series, I would encourage you to click the links above to the contemporary service, the traditional service, or even the podcast. Those will take you to the most recent episodes. You can listen in, worship alongside of us, and then you can go back and look at that catalog, that library of previous services. So you're not going to want to miss that. But there's also a lot of other things that are going on. Some of them are with heavy heart. And over the last week, we've had a lot of funerals. And I'm going to ask you to keep a few families in prayer. Keep the Mao family in prayer. We laid Carl to rest last Friday, so please keep Beth and the family in prayer. Pray for God's comfort and his peace to be multiplied unto them. Also for the family of James Coppersmith, we had the funeral for James on Tuesday, and again, it was a great time of celebration, a great time of celebrating James' legacy and his faith. But again, there's a lot of grief, a lot of sorrow, and pray for God to draw close to that family. And then also we'd ask you to keep the Grondin family in prayer. Nancy O'Connor passed away a little earlier this week, and that is Diane's mother. So again, keep the Grondin family in prayer. Pray again for God's comfort and peace to be abundant in their lives. Pray that God would draw close, that his presence would be made known to them. But as you're remembering those families in prayer, we're going to ask also that you look forward to this coming weekend and many of the things that God has in store. Pray for how God might be at work in your life, what he might be challenging you to do. On Friday evening and into Saturday morning, the youth are going to be having their fall lock-in, and that's going to take place here at the church. They have lots of exciting things planned, but if you have or if you know a student in grades 6 through 12, we would encourage you to bring them out so that they can be a part of that. Again, that's going to be taking place here at the church Friday evening into Saturday morning. And then on Saturday morning, beginning at 9 a.m. and continuing to approximately 3 p.m., we're going to be having a cleanup day around the church. There are lots of projects that need to be tackled. There's some cleaning that needs to be done. We just want to make sure that we keep things tidy around here, that we keep them looking the best possible way that we can. We want to be good stewards of the resources that God has given us. So if you can come out, even if it's only for half an hour or an hour, we'd love to see you. But again, we have lots of projects to tackle and we could use your help. And then on Sunday, there's a lot going on. In the morning at our 8:30 and our 10:30 services, we're going to be observing communion together. We're going to be receiving the sacrament and taking time to remember Christ's sacrifice for us. So you're going to want to be here for that. In the afternoon at 3 p.m. over at York Messiah, there's an opportunity for us to meet the new bishops of the Susquehanna Annual Conference. And I'm going to post the sign-up information above. But seating is limited. They're not going to be streaming that event, but it's going to be interactive. There's going to be some time for question and answer. There's going to be a time for them to share their faith journeys and what has brought them to this point. It's going to be an exciting time. So you're going to want to be there. Again, that's Sunday at 3 p.m. And then in the evening here at the church, there's going to be a meeting for the families of the Cross Life students. Going to be talking about summer mission trip opportunities. And I know that seems like it's months and months away, but that will quickly be upon us. There's planning, preparations, fundraising, all those things that need to be done. So they're going to be having that meeting. So if you are a parent of one of the Cross Life students, be sure to mark your calendars and plan to be out for that. But that's just a little snapshot of some of what has been going on this past week, some of what's going to be taking place in the weekend to come. We'd love to see you. We'd love to have the opportunity to worship with you in person. If you can't be here physically over the course of the weekend, join us as best you can by way of the YouTube feed on Sunday morning. But we would love to worship together and lift high the name of Christ. So have a great rest of the week. Have a wonderful start to the weekend. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday, if not before. God bless.